Hello everyone. Today's art journal prompt is assemblage. I want to use some of the bits and pieces that I received in the box from Artful Days, and I've decided to do an assemblage. And I feel that the difference between an assemblage and a collage, they're both, very similar concept, but I think an assemblage is more 3D, more dimensional. So I'm going to try and use some of these bits and pieces. I've pulled out some of the bits that I got from the box. Here's some of these bits and pieces. I've got the stencil here. This was the piece that I received that I didn't like, and when I opened the package I realised that it was in two parts. I still don't like this, and I think it's just because it's just so plasticky. I don't like the feel of it, so I think that's going to get discarded, but I do actually quite like this, so we'll try and incorporate that. I've got this wooden frame as well that I may or may not use, and I've also dug out a few of the bits and pieces that Rayne sent me in Happy Mail as well earlier on this year. I'd kept these. I try to separate things into seasons, and I'd put these into my autumnal box. I'm going to try and incorporate some of these as well because I just think they go really well with the bits and pieces from the box. Now I've decided that I am going to work on a piece of what do you call this, calico stuff, and so I've got a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use some heavy matte medium, and I'm going to glue this down, and I'm going to use that as my substrate. So as soon as I've done that, I shall be back. Hessian is glued down to my cardstock, so that's worked quite well. I used extra heavy matte medium to glue it down. It's still a bit damp underneath, but it's dry enough for me to work on. And then I want to see if I can add some modelling paste through this stencil that I also got in the set. It's just a leaf stencil. So I've got some Galleria modelling paste here and a palette knife, and I just want to add a little bit of texture. So let's have a look and see if we can add this. It might work, it might not, I don't know. I want to be quite random about this. Oh, let's come here, you. I'm trying to do this with one hand, holding this down. This might sink into the Hessian, I have no idea, but we'll get some kind of texture from it, so we'll see. And then I'm going to move this along to over here and repeat the same thing. I want this in 3 different places. I'm nearly at the end of my pot of modelling paste. There we are, so that will do there, and then we'll have some down here too, I think. There we are, and I think that will do nicely. So I'm going to give this a dry and have a bit of a tidy up, and then I'll be back. This is what I've got so far, and I just feel as if I want to add a little bit more. So I'm just going to apply a bit more of the texture paste through my stencil. I want a little bit up here. Let me just have a look and see which part I want. Maybe this area here. In fact, I'm going to turn this round this way because it will be easier for me to use it. Hang on, let's get this in the right area. So I just want a little bit here. I have no idea why, just because. There we are. Let me just scrape that up so that I can reuse it, and then I want a little bit more down here too. There we are. There we go, that looks a bit better. And then I think I just want, let me just scrape that off a little bit in this area here too, I think. Just a little leaf, that will be fine. In fact, we can add that bit there as well. There we are. Oh, that's made me happier. I don't know why, it just has. And I feel as if I want just another bit just there too. This is me being really pernickety, isn't it? There we go. Right, okay, so now I'm going to go away and have a tidy up. Now that's pretty much dry, and I want to add some gesso to this. I've got no idea whether it'll work and whether I'll be able to see the leaves that I've stenciled on, but I don't know. I just want to add gesso. And for anybody that thinks, oh my goodness me, I've never done an assemblage before, I've got no idea what to do, neither do I. I'm completely making this up as I go along, so we'll learn together. And as I say, the stenciling that I've just done might turn out to be a complete and utter waste of time. It might not show through at all, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll end up with something at the end of it. And the good thing here is that if it turns out to be a complete and utter flop, that I can just bin it and start again and do something else. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say. This is actually quite difficult to get the gesso through, but it looks as if I am getting some of that leaf detail, so that's good, isn't it? We'll add some gesso to this as well, because I'm thinking I might add some kind of paint or spray over the top of this. I'm not sure yet. I need to let it dry and go away and have a good think as to what I want to do next. This is not the best brush to do this with either, because I'm losing bristles. In fact, I might as well put it on the other side too. And I'm pouncing it just to try and get the gesso in through the detail bits of this chipboard frame. Oh, there we go, that will do. So I can set that off to one side to dry and go and have a tidy up. This is how it's looking so far. So some of the leaf shape is still showing, and I want to cover it in some inks. I've got some of the Do Craft Artiste. I've cut my finger, by the way. In fact, this was an injury that I incurred yesterday, and I've just opened it up again. It's only a paper cut whilst I was cleaning up, so nothing serious. But I've got these Do Craft Artiste spritzing inks, and these are metallic. And I've got this white one here, a gold, and this red, which I thought might look quite nice with the other colours and things that I've got going on. Whoopsie daisy, if I can sort of aim it right. There we go. And then I want some of the gold. Oh, good grief, hang on a minute. Let me just have a bit of a wipe up. I'm in a right mess here. It's gone everywhere. And we'll have some of this gold as well, because I don't want it too dark. That is beautiful. That is really lovely. Right, and then we'll add a bit of the white as well. Look at that gorgeous gold. I just hope this looks wonderful once it's dried. Let's add a bit of that white as well. I love that. Right, I'm going to give this a dry. Now, that's how my background is looking so far, and I just think it's going to be really pretty by the time we've brought it all together. I want to work on the border now before I start assembling any bits and pieces, and I'm going to have a gold background, I think, and I'm going to use some of my Folk Art gold enamel paint. I think I'm going to need quite a bit because the paint is really sinking into this, and I want sort of quite a heavy layer all around my border, and I think this will really frame my page. So I'm going to carry on going around it like this. It's going to take some drying as well, because it's quite a thick layer of paint I'm putting on. I may need to do more with it as well after this, I don't know. We'll see. Now I've put my heavy layer of paint around the outside, and I'm going to really hold my heat gun close so that the paint starts to bubble around the edges, and that will give me even more texture. Let me just hold it up close so that you can see, and you'll start to see it bubble and blister, and this will just give me a really textured edge. There it goes. Can you see it starting to bubble and pop? Now, this is pretty much dry, and that's how it's looking. So you can see that I've just got this beautifully textured border all the way around. I just love that. I think it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to set that to one side to set. You can see that it's curled at the edges, but by the time I've added my heavy duty tape, we can flatten that down. So I'm, and it's still sticky as well. So we can flatten that out. I'm not worried about it. So let me just stick that over there. Now I want to, where's it gone? Where's that little frame that I had here? So I've got this frame that I gessoed, and I want to add some gold to that as well. So I'm again going to apply some paint to my mat. Use the same sponge just to give this a coat of gold paint, and it's probably going to take a couple of coats as well. So I'm going to do this, and as soon as I've given it some coats of paint and dried it in between, I'll be back. Now, this is what I've got so far. So my frame is coated in gold paint, and I just think that looks much better. I haven't bothered doing the back. So that all ties in really nicely. And I think what I want to do now is add one of these journaling cards. And so I just want to audition some of these and see what looks best. What else have we got? I'm not so keen on that one. Let's try this one here. I have a feeling the dark colour is going to look better. Yeah, the light just isn't doing it for me, so it's going to be one of the dark ones. What about this one here? No, don't like that one. That one's a possibility. I quite like that one, but then by the time I've added all my other embellishments, that one might be a bit busy. We'll put that one to one side, so it could be that one, it could be that one. What else have we got? I love that one, but it's too pale. Let's try it. I don't know, I quite like that actually. So that one's a possibility. I like that one. I like that one, and I like that one. Right, okay, so let me just put these to one side. I've also got this that I thought I might be able to use as a quote. Right, okay. Let's try it with these butterflies first. So I've kept playing with my canvas just to see which way round I want it, and I'm not sure yet. Let's put it this way up and see how we get on. And this is going to be the bit that takes the time, because I am just going to keep dithering, dillying and dallying, just trying to get it to look right. And so this is just going to be a case of piecing all my bits and pieces together. Let's maybe put that one over there. And these are the leaves that Rayne gave me, because I just think these are much more textured than the ones in the kit. And I thought would just look really, really nice. The colours all work beautifully together. And you see I'm going to want some flowers as well. Let's have some more leaves. I just love that. I feel as if I want another leaf there. What have we got? That might be too much, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to do here. I think I want a piece of the orange peel, and I was thinking maybe I could have a red flower there. I'm not sure. That doesn't go at all. That's too much. And so I'm just going to keep playing with my bits and pieces. These are the flowers that were in the pack that that Rayne gave me. I've just pulled a few of these off. And so I'm just going to have a really good fiddle around and see what I can come up with. Now this is the layout I've decided on, and it has taken me an age of fiddling around with this until I finally got a layout that I think I'm happy with. This flower here had this long stem on it. I also picked out some more from the pack as well, and these had got these twirly bits on, and so instead of cutting the long stem off that, I've just twirled it around my finger. So of course now that looks as if it's in keeping with those, and I like the fact that these are green and that one's brown as well. So let me just take this apart. I've taken a photograph of this so that I remember what it looks like. Let me just take it apart so that you can see how I assembled it. So there we go. So I've got my leaves underneath, like that. Then my journaling card on top, ATC, whatever you want to call it. Then my frame, which way up will that go? Like that, framing my butterflies. Then I think I had my orange in the middle, something like that. You see, it's a good job I've taken a photograph because I'd never remember what I did. This is the hardest part, so let's just put this back together. That red flower there, like that. And then how did I have this? Something like that. And I just think that looks beautiful. In fact, I think I prefer it now that I've done that. So I'm going to go off camera now and glue this down. I've got my handy glue gun here at the ready. I'm not going to do this on camera because I need to get up close, get my head in the way, and I don't want to spoil it now that I've gone to this extent. So as soon as I've glued it down, I shall be back. And so here we are. Everything is glued down. I'm so proud of myself for doing this. I feel completely chuffed. Now, a couple of things that I want to do. I feel as if I've put this leaf here, I've tucked it too far down. So I've cut a piece off another leaf and I'm just going to tuck it behind just to sort of give a little bit of height. I had that tucked down nicely a minute ago so that it wasn't poking out the top. So I shall have to fiddle around with that. And then I just want to add a quote. Now this came on the business card from Artful Days because, of course, you know, for those of you that haven't seen the unboxing, that's where I got the kit from. So I've just cut out the changing seasons. I've inked around the edges with some Distress Oxide ink in walnut stain. And then I've added 3 pieces of this foam tape here because, of course, it's raised. So I am just going to add a tiny bit of glue here now. There we are. Take the top of that glue. I'm going to stand up just so that I get that in the right place and plonk that down, and that is my quote for this week, changing seasons. Now I know that we've done lots of autumnal pages recently, but you know, why not? It's that season, isn't it? So I just need to sort of play around with that and trim that in. I've already added my tape to the back of my page. I added that before I glued anything else down because I knew that it would be tricky with all the dimension on without squashing everything. So I'm just going to tuck this in and add it to my journal, and then I'll come back and show you the finished page. And so here we are. Here's my assemblage. I love it. I'm so pleased with this piece. I love the texture in the background. I just love the glimmer sprays. I love the gold border, and you know, the assemblage itself. It just looks wonderful. Love the way that you know, the quote is central. That just works beautifully for me. Now I don't want anybody to be put off by this prompt. Let me just move that out of the way. This isn't glued into my journal, by the way. It's too bulky. And it's too beautiful as well. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to, I don't know, I think what I shall do is have this photocopied so that I can put a page as a reminder in my journal. But this is going to have to be framed. It's still curling at the edges, so I need to, you know, find some way of weighting that down to flatten it out. But too nice to be hidden away in my journal. So let me just move that to one side. There's a couple of pages that I've done in the past that I would say could be classed as assemblage. This was the page that I did for the steampunked prompt, and again I think this, you know, would classify as being assemblage. You could probably get away with that one being called assemblage. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? This one is an assemblage, I would say. Not quite collage. That's sort of in between a collage and an assemblage. What else have we got? That one could be classed as being an assemblage as well. What else have we got? So, you know, don't overthink this. I don't want anybody feeling that they've got to go out and buy sort of, you know, big, bulky pieces. Use what you have in your stash. This, I think, is an assemblage. You know, just use artistic license is what I'm trying to say. This one here could be classed as assemblage. Even this one could be, and this one too. So, you know, and possibly that one as well. So, you know, really have a think about what you can use. Have a look at what you've got in your stash as well. I mean, I've got lots of these flowers left over from the ones, these are the ones that Rayne sent me, and not all of them are so dimensional that, you know, a lot of these would work in an art journal page and are not quite as bulky as the ones that I ended up using. Of course, these are nice and flat as well, and the orange pieces you know, wouldn't take up too much bulk. It's just because I've added layers and layers and layers. And then you've got things like these 3D craft stickers. These are just absolutely perfect for putting on an assemblage. So let's bring my page back so that you can see mine again. So I hope you like what I created here. As I say, I'm just really pleased, really happy with that. And had I not bought that box from Artful Days, I'd never have attempted something like this. So I'm really glad that that I did. So I hope you like it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, because as I always say, it just lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. And let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I look forward to seeing what everybody else decides to come up with. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.